Good evening. I am Amber with Amber Poetry and Song, and I have another word, a prophetic word that I had last year on November 21st, 2020. Um, and this is what I dreamed. I had a dream where I was in this big house, and I think it was my mom's, but I remember seeing a big glass window, and my mom had her Christmas tree set up in the window where people could see it lit up. That's all that I wrote there. But I sat down and I sat before the Lord, trying to get understanding of this dream that I had. And this is the interpretation of what this dream is about. So I looked up 11/21 for the date that I dreamed this on in the Strong's Concordance. And what it came out to mean is letter, bill, writing, learning scriptures and written. They have different definitions for this, but in this case, I believe that this particular message is dealing with like a bill. One of the definitions says a note of, I can't even read what I wrote, but it says bill, bond, account, written acknowledgement of debt. And so I looked up, you know, Christmas trees, and because I know that this dream is not about, you know, Christmas in particular, but I found that European pagans would dress their homes with branches of evergreen fir trees in order to bring color and light into their dull winters. Um, I also looked up my mom's name. I'm not going to say that on here, but her name means victory. And I looked up big house. Apparently, the slang for big house means jail. Um, it's a term slang that they use when they're talking about prison or jail. And so this glass window in this dream represented exposure and unveiling, because the glass window was like huge and you could see the Christmas tree in it from outside. Um, a bill is anything that's an amount of money owed for goods supplied or services rendered, set out in a printed or written statement of charge. And so we know that winter is the coldest season of the year. Depending on where you are in the world, where I am, it's from December to February. And when I looked up the Christmas trees, it said that they would bring these trees to bring color and light into their dull winters. So they're bringing color and light into their dull winters. Dull means lacking interest or excitement. The synonyms I saw for it was boring, deadly, wearisome. And as far as the tree, um, it represented the lights, bringing color and light to the dual winters, but it also um, has to do with possibly in the month of December, um, around Christmas time. And so, um, also a debt is something. Um, it's something, typically money, that is owed or due. The synonym is dues that I saw for this. A few of them was dues and arrears. And so, with this dream, what this dream is meaning is there's going to be big exposure, big a big unveiling in households for those who have been, well, let me start over. It's going to be a big exposure, big unveiling, in victory in households for those who have been in prisons. This will take place in the winter, possibly the dual winter. At the same time, while these people are being revealed, those who took place in these people being in these prisons will be exposed as well. It will be a time of shaking, judgment for loved ones who knew but didn't try to help, and those who had a hand into these people being put in these prisons, and that's um, like Joseph, like sold into Egypt, um, like his brothers did. These prisons can be literal in jailhouses or prisons, as in wilderness isolations, job situations, setting you up to fail so that you need their help while they turn a blind eye. Um, this is their harvest time for those who have sown these type of things. It's time to reap what they have sown, and the tree being there also is also representative of Mithras, which is a harvest god of light that pagans honored during Christmas. And so that's what I mean by it's their harvest time, with the Christmas tree being there. It this is what that tree also represented, harvest, but of Mithras, the false god of light that pagans honored during Christmas. Because remember, once again, I said that the European pagans would dress their homes with branches of evergreen fir trees. Evergreen trees are Christmas trees, in order to bring color and light into their dull winters. Okay, and so the scriptures that I wrote down, that I have that came to mind, the Lord put on my mind as I um, was sitting before Him to get understanding of this dream, is Galatians chapter 6. And I'll read verses 7 through 10. Let's see. So, Galatians chapter 6, 7 through 10. It says, "Be not deceived. God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting." It says, "And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith." Okay, so the things that people have sown when it comes to these people that are like Joseph's, because this is a time for those that are like Joseph's as well. These people are going to reap what they have sown, because the thing is, the Lord has placed those that were like Joseph's, that went through these things, He placed them on the hearts of others, of those around them, friends, family, for them to help them, um, to sort of like testing to see if you're gonna be obedient and go do whatever the Lord is leading you to do for these people. And a lot of people turned a blind eye. They knew that these people needed help with things. They knew. The Lord also gave me a dream where He showed me, for example, in my situation, everybody that could have helped me but didn't help, that He put me on the heart of, that chose not to help in my time of need. And so it's the same with other people that's experienced the same thing. When you do those kind of things, when the Lord has put others on the hearts of you, for you to help them, and you don't, you're going to eventually reap what you sow, because He wants us to serve one another, to help one another. And some people enjoy seeing when others are down, when they're down and out. A lot of people get a kick out of seeing others down rather than seeing them up. And then there's some that if they are down, some people will act like they're there to help them, but it's basically just to be there to see them, to kind of be like front row of their hard times, their hardships, but not there to really truly help them. And the Lord takes note of all those type of things. Um, so the next scripture that I want to go to, and this is going to be more than one video. It's going to be a couple of parts, maybe two parts or maybe three, because it's long. But I'm going to go and read about Joseph. I'm going to go to Genesis chapter 37. And I'm going to read verses 3 through 36. So bear with me and just go as the Lord leads me. Um, so I'm reading from Genesis 37 and verse 3. Chapter 37, verse 3. It says, "Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaf stood round about and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said to him, Shall thou indeed reign over us? Or shall thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream and told it his brethren and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth? And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the saying." I'm going to pause right there. When people around you, whether it's family or friends, see that the Lord has chosen you out of everyone in the family that he could have chosen, it causes people to envy you. Joseph was a dreamer of dreams, and he I won't say that he talked too much, because I would think with him dreaming, he's supposed to, you know, well, with dreams you're supposed to share, but there's certain ones that I believe that the Lord would have you to hide, to keep to yourself for these very reasons. But the Lord favored Joseph, and his brothers envied him because of this. The Lord favored him as well as his dad. And the brothers saw this, and especially when he spoke about his dreams and about them making obeisance to him reigning over them, that really caused them to be envious of him. And so the same thing happens in families when you are the oddball, the black sheep, when you know are different from the rest of your family members. It will cause envy from your family members or friends, or just anyone that's around you. And so I'm going to continue reading verse 12. It says, And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, Here am I. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field, and the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, They are departed hence. For I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan. And when he saw him afar off, when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say, Some evil beasts have devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. Certain things that about you that when you're chosen will cause people to mock you because of it. His brothers mocked him because he was a dreamer, and he told his dreams, and they conspired against him. They conspired to get rid of him because of their envy with him being a dreamer of dreams, and just the nature of his dreams, what he said would happen. So verse 21 says, oh yeah, before I go on. So yeah, when people are envious of you because of the Lord favoring you or a certain grace over you, it will cause them to conspire to the point where they will leave you in, leave you for dead. They will, you know, throw you into pits, set up things to where you end up needing others to help you. Um, and they know what they're doing when they do these things. And so the people that are like Joseph, these people have experienced the same thing, whether it's from family or friends or whoever, or they've experienced being thrown into prison literally, or things like people abandoning them, um, setting them up to leave them for dead, to leave them to fail, um, just making it to where their circumstances seem like their circumstances would have the best of them. People would do this all because of envy, because they don't like you, because of the favor that the Lord has on you. So verse 21 says, And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. And I'm going to pause right here. Reuben heard it, and he delivered Joseph out of their hands. He told them not to kill him, but yet he still had part in throwing him into that pit as well, because he says, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness. So it's people that may have not been, you know, may have not been in agreement completely with what others may have wanted to do to the people that are like Joseph, but they didn't try to stop them either from, you know, throwing these people into these prisons, or, they didn't try to lend help. They saw that these Josephs needed help, but they didn't try to do anything about it. And like I said, the Lord showed me, they may not have had anything to do with, some people may not have had anything to do with, you know, these people that are like Joseph being in these pits, in these prisons. But once the Lord showed them, or put these people on the heart of these certain people, they didn't try to help either. They didn't try to reach out. They didn't move with obedience to help deliver these people out of the situations they were in, and they knew the situations, but they just didn't want to help. They didn't want to get their hands in it or involved or whatever. But Reuben, he he didn't try to he delivered him from them trying to kill him, Joseph, but he didn't try to deliver him from being thrown in the pit. And when it's like that, the Lord comes back to collect for all of it. The people who had a part in these people being left for dead in the wilderness, in thrown in pits, thrown in prisons, you know, figuratively. He comes back to collect for all of that. The people who had a part in it, and the people who actually did it, and the people who helped them, and including the people who could have done something to help get these people out of these situations, them as well. He comes to, you know, recompense on that person's behalf to all these people, because the Lord doesn't play when it comes to oppression, when it comes to people trying to oppress someone, or trying to when it comes to like the poor, needy. The Lord is serious about these things. When it comes to helping people that are really in need of help, he spins the block. If you ever seen that meme on social media saying, um, to don't get back at people because the Lord gonna spin a block. Okay, he don't only spin a block for when people do you wrong. He spin the block also for those who are poor and needy, those who are oppressed, the widows. God does not play about those type of things. And so this message with this prophetic word, it's harvest time for those people who have sown in those ways. When it came to the people that are like Joseph's, um, by having them thrown into pits, or not helping them when they saw that they were in these pits, when they could have helped, when they had the capacity to help these people. The Lord is there's about to be big exposure and an unveiling taking place to reveal the hearts of people, to reveal who these people are that are like Joseph's. Because with this revealing, these people that are like Joseph's, they're going to end up in a position of promotion, because you don't go through these type of things just because. When the Lord allows you to go through these things, there's because it, it's because there's something better on the other side of you going through this. But going through those pits, those prisons, those wilderness, um it breeds character in you, the right character. It helps you develop character. It helps you be purged of the things that's not like God, and draw closer to Him, to learn of Him, to learn of yourself and your whole purpose in Christ. Those are the benefits of all of these things. Even though it seemed like a bad situation, the Lord will take the things that seem like a bad situation and turn it around for good in the end. There's a purpose to everything that the Lord allows. There's a purpose to pain, and to the Lord allowing people to go through certain things, just as He did with Joseph. So I'm going to continue reading. Verse 23 says, "And it came to pass when Joseph was coming to his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty, there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come, and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him. For he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. Then there passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes. And he returned unto his brethren and said, The child is not, and I, whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of the goats and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father and said, This have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it and said, It is my son's coat. And evil beasts have devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him. But he refused to be comforted, and he said, For I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him, and the Midianites sold him into Egypt, unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard. I'm going to go to Genesis 39, skip to Genesis 39, and read the whole chapter. It says, And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man. And he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. So even in you being in your place of Egypt, in your thrown into the pit, in your wilderness, the Lord will make it to where he will be with you the entire time throughout that season of trials and tribulations, and you know being abandoned and left for dead or thrown into prisons. He will make it to where you will still have the Lord with you, and to where you'll prosper. Verse 3 says, And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he had to prosper in his hand, because Joseph had favor on him, and that's why they hated him. It says, And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put into his hand. And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. See, when you have the favor of the Lord on you, and others bless you, it will cause them to be blessed in return of blessing you. When you are the Lord's chosen, when you're the Lord's anointed, and people bless you, the Lord is going to bless them because of you. Just from you being, connected to them, he will bless you. And those that, come and help, that the Lord will sing your way to help when these other people won't help. He will allow them to be blessed just for blessing you, just for being connected to you. Because here, his whole house was blessed, and it was because of Joseph, because the favor of the Lord was on Joseph. So it says, And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a good person and well favored. And it came to pass after these things, that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, Lie with me. But he refused, and said unto his master's wife, Behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house, and he hath committed all that he hath to my hand. There is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? And it came to pass that she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her, to lie by her or to be with her. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by his garment, saying, Lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out. And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house and spake unto them, saying, See, he hath brought in Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. And it came to pass, when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled and got him out. And she laid up his garment by her until his Lord came home. And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, The Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto me came in to mock me. I'm going to pause right there, because, see, the Lord, when you have favor on you, the enemy will send people your way, that will try to bear false witness on you, because you won't do what they want you to do. And just because you are the Lord's chosen, that the favor is on you, you'll experience things like being lied on, people bearing false witness against you, slandering your name, your reputation, um, just trying to get others to turn against you who favor you due to their lies. The enemy will try to bring people in like that. And the Josephs are people that have been, most likely have not been in a situation where they've been in like prisons or pits once. It's probably happened more than once. And these things only strengthen you over time for what the Lord is calling you to. These things, make you stronger and prepare you for the way that God really wants to use you in the end, even if it doesn't make sense at the moment. So I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to read verse 19. It says, And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, After this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. But the Lord was with Joseph, even in your prisons. No matter how many times you're thrown in there, the Lord will be with you and to deliver you. It might take some time, but the Lord is going to be there the entire time, and you won't want for anything. You will lack nothing, even in your prisons, in your pits, in your wilderness, because the Lord is with you and because the favor of the Lord is on you. And so it says, but the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison. And whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because the Lord was with him. And that which he did, the Lord made it to prosper. So I'm going to go to to chapter 40. And this is going to be my last chapter that I read for this part of the video, and I'll pick back up on the rest of the chapters. But Genesis 40 says, And it came to pass after these things, that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their lord, the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers and against the chief of the bakers, and he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard, into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them, and they continued a season inward. And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning, and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his Lord's house, saying, Wherefore look ye so sadly today? And they said unto him, We have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me them, I pray you. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph, and said to him in my dream, Behold, a vine was before me, and in the vine was 3 branches. And it was as though it budded, and her blossom shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup. And I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said unto him, This is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head, and restore thee unto thy place. And thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand, after the former manner when thou wast his butler. It says, But think on me when it shall be well with thee, and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. For indeed I was stolen away of the land of the Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. I'm going to pause right there. The Josephs, most people that are Josephs, I'm not saying that they're perfect or that they haven't done anything at all, but for people to leave them in those type of positions like that, most of these Josephs are people that are innocent. They have not done anything for those type of things to be done to them. For people to leave them, put them in pits, leave them and throw them in prisons, you know, have it to where they're in a season of wilderness. These Josephs are innocent people that have not done anything, but God knows this, but others may not think that they're innocent. They may think that they're, guilty of this or that, or they've lied on them and bared false witness of them about things that they claim that these Josephs have done when they really haven't. It's just Satan operating through these people to, you know, keep these people from reaching their destiny, basically. But there's nothing that the enemy can do. He can create delays. He can't stop you from reaching your destiny if that is God's will for your life. And then what the enemy tries to make for evil, the Lord will take it and make it good. With you being thrown in those prisons, like I said before, the Lord will teach you things in those times. He will strengthen you. He will equip you with everything that you need to be able to actively um, to be able to steward that call that he has on your life well, in a way that it brings glory and honor to his name. So I'm going to keep reading. Verse 16 says, When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head. It said, and in the uppermost basket there was all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. And Joseph answered, sorry. And Joseph answered and said, This is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants. And he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand, but he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. See, his dreams came to pass. It says, Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him. And so I'm going to stop here and continue on Genesis chapter 42 to chapter 45. But the whole point of this message is that, um, you know, um, there's about to be big exposure and unveiling and victory for in households, or in for people who are like Joseph's, who have been in prisons, who have been in pits, who have been in wildernesses, um, who have been left, for dead, who seem like their situations would never change, like they would never come out of it, um, due to the favor of the Lord being on them, and the enemy using people to try to throw them off the path that God has set in front of them, to what the Lord is really wanting to from what the Lord is really wanting to do with these people. These Josephs are going to be revealed. They're going to be revealed, and as well as those that did these things to them, um and they're going to have to pay for the things that they've done to these people, because the Lord has given people a chance to repent and to, lend that helping hand when they saw that these people needed it. But many turned a blind eye, because the hearts of many people are waxing cold in these last days. A lot of people don't really care about others, um, you know, especially about their situations. A lot of people don't care. Some people are not able to help, but the ones that are, a lot of them, they don't want anything to do with it. And the Lord sees the hearts of everyone. He sees, you know, he tries our reins, and he tries our hearts, and he knows. And you're gonna have to answer to God for those things. You're gonna be exposed and unveiled for causing these people to be in these situations. And these people are going to be they're going to be revealed to these same people as well that did these things to them, and they're going to see how much the Lord was really with these same people that they threw into these types of things, these prisons, and that people bared false witness on, and lied on, and things like that. They're going to see who they're going to see who the Lord was really with, basically, the whole time, even though they couldn't see it, you know, in the beginning. But that's it for now. I'll be back with another video. See y'all later. Goodbye.